Alright, back out in the garage on the ZB again. I got a little bit done since last night. We'll go around this side. I got the water manifold on with the new gaskets. You can see the fancy blue gaskets in there. I put just a little bit of ultra gray on the water manifold itself because the surfaces were a little pitted. I smoothed them off with the file, but I wasn't completely happy, so a little ultra gray, and it helped the gasket stick while I was getting it on there. I got this oil line hooked up. That's what feeds oil. So oil comes up out of the motor here through the pipe, up through this. I'll sit down here, and then there's a copper pipe that runs along. Looks like I'm gonna have to adjust some of these. And all the way back down, back up this side. Anyway, that was broke off. There's basically just little brad nails through that copper pipe that, and they're supposed to be felt. I think they're supposed to be felt in the copper line. I'm not sure. There's supposed to be felt somewhere. Maybe it goes over the line and the nail goes through the felt. Whatever. That's supposed to control, but it just drips off the. Supposed to just drip off the nail. Oh, gas off the nail down here onto the rocker arm, head of the valve, whatever. This one I don't think has any felt left, so it's just gonna be like a steady stream, which is fine. Anyway, got the water manifold on. Once I got that tight, then I went ahead and torqued down all of the 2 on that side, 3 on this side per block, the hold down bolts. So I'm hoping that when I pull the head back off, put some ultra copper or some kind of head gasket sealant on the heads and get that torqued down, that this head will work. I don't see why it won't. The engine that's in my R is ever so slightly smaller than this one. This is 145 over. The one in my R is 125 over, and it's running this head without any problem. I don't know if they'll be able to read that or not. I don't think you read it. Let's see. That's a 10A 2647. That's the highest compression head they made for these side valve motors. So I don't know what kind of horsepower number it should make, but we're gonna say it makes enough. I said, well, there you are. So after I got all that stuff torqued down, thought about maybe adjusting valves. But I went ahead and started in on this project. I got number 2 and number 3 rod bolts, or rod caps torqued down. And then I went ahead and, let's see, okay, some 041 thousandths stainless steel lock wire. And fancy schmancy. Gotta hate these things. I'm going to invest in a better pair of those. Safety wire pliers, the way these work, the way these are supposed to work, like this. With one hand, put you there. You're supposed to be able to squeeze that handle down and lock it so that the jaws are tight. And then with the wire in there, when you pull on this handle here, it spins the pliers, which puts the really nice twist in the wire. This was my first one tonight. The idea is you want to kind of come, when you come out of the bolt, you want to be coming, well, let's see, watch what you're doing here. You want to be coming down, so when you pull the wire up, you're pulling towards the tight side of the whatever, so that if it tries to loosen, it's pulling against the wire. If you were to come up on this side with the wire. You go like quarter, half turn, whatever, before the wire held on. And then the same up here, you want to come in so that that one's not great, but it's still pulling down on this. And then the second one I did, I think, looks a little better. I got a better twist here, up tighter against the bolt here, and then I left enough to get a nice curly Q on the safety wire there, so you don't, this one you can maybe snag yourself, but that one rolls under nice. So, and there's tricks the way you wrap the wire so that it stays tucked back in behind and whatever. I'm still learning that, but safety wiring these, because it's got to be better than that, which I think came with the tractor, because I don't ever remember taking main bearing caps off. Yeah. But anyway, and it's got to be better than what I had last time put together, when some of these didn't even have any kind of lock nut or any kind of locking mechanism. So I still got number 1 and number 4 to do. We got to roll the crank around, because you got to get up to at least this level to be able to get the torque wrench in there and get that tightened up. So probably tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow. I think I go to the funeral home tomorrow. Maybe later tonight, I don't know. We'll get that crankshaft rolled a little further over, get those torque down, maybe get those things tightened up. I still got to get a nut and a washer to hold this pre-screen on, and then once that's on, there's an oil line that comes out of here and goes up to there. I got to get that back on, and that should have this done, and we can clean up all the. There's a lot of studs that came out. We'll clean those up and try and get those reinstalled. I don't know if I get it done tomorrow night or not, but I've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to work on it, sort of ish. Sunday I gotta go see a guy. Gotta go see a guy about a tractor, because I don't have enough projects. But it's actually the successor to this. It's a 445. Same basic crankshaft or crankcase, same basic crankcase, but instead of the flathead, it's the first model with the overhead valve. There's a fella up in Minnesota, Squatch 253. He has got the prototype of the 445 X231, I think it is, and he's got a series of videos where he was working on it. He's kind of slacked off. Come on, Squatch. Throw a brother a bone, man. Get back on 231. Anyway, he's a big Caterpillar guy. He's doing a lot of. He's rebuilding a D2 Cat. Like, say rebuilding. It's got like all original patina, like what I got on this gas tank on this tractor, but it's the whole machine, and everything he's doing, he's trying to keep that original unmolested look, which I think is awesome. But he spent all his time messing with a cat, not working on the Moline. So, but he does a really good job of taking parts from a ZB engine, production parts from the ZB engine, the prototype parts from X231, and then the production parts from the 445, and saying, this is what they started with, this is what they put in the experimental, and this is what they ended up with. And it's if you're into that kind of history of tractors and stuff, it's a good video. But this is where I'm at, still messing with the old flathead motor. I like them. I was counting tonight, I think I got 5 tractors of these. There's almost half the, maybe a third of the collection that's got this flathead style motor. They're simple. One of the advertising things that was rebuilt it sitting on a bucket under a shade tree. Well, I'm not sitting on a bucket. I've been sitting on this thing. It's a cast iron seat. I think the seat itself is a repop, but it's a Moline cast iron wagon or rake seat or whatever with a steel wheel that they got cut in half. I got a pair of them. The other one, the seats broke off. But I want to, one of these days I'm going to get these things cleaned up nice and painted up again. But it's kind of my shop chair. Because it's, oh, here, listen. Let's get over here. This is chest height. Oh, right there. That's me sitting on that thing. And that's perfect height to do whatever you got to do on this thing. It's a simple design. It was designed to be simple. It was designed to get as many, I forget how many hundreds of fewer moving parts this had over a regular overhead valve engine. The only problem is the intake path is just so screwed up. They're really limited on horsepower because air comes in the air comes in the carburetor, goes up the carburetor, turns and goes towards the motor, and then it has to split in the manifold, goes down the manifold and turns, then it turns again when it gets in the head, and then when it gets down in here it has to turn and come this way through the intake valve, and then when it gets here it has to turn and flow into the combustion chamber. It's such a inefficient airflow path that yeah, they're really limited on horsepower. I know guys talk about what they can make out of them, but man, 45, 50 horses, reliable. I'm hoping this thing gets back to that 40, 45 horsepower, back where it was. I don't know. Probably gonna keep it in its pulling configuration for now, just because I'd like to get back to pulling it. I don't know how much. I maybe pull it once or twice a year, but pull it once or twice a year and be able to parade with it, driving around, putter around, whatever. Be able to move it on its own, under its own power. That'd be nice. But anyway, all right. I can't read the numbers, but I rambled on long enough in this video. That's where we're at. Starting to button things up. A couple good more days on this thing. I still want to get a new set of spark plug wires and some new plugs in it before I put it all back together. And then I still got to figure out the hold downs for that intake with that exhaust. There's going to be some cutting and finagling, maybe even some welding. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And I got to get studs, manifold studs for it. But a lot of little things. 90% done, 90% still to go. Anywho, I'll be back.